It's Wolf, and it's Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Sorry for the awkward minute of silence there at the beginning of the stream. Normally, I get going right away, but I realized I forgot to change the title before I clicked the button to start streaming. So I needed to do that. It's late. It's a Thursday, so it's a weird stream time, an hour. And I need to be quiet because it's so late. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know when I'm actually gonna have time to stream or make a video again for a little while because I've been kind of busy. And I think I'm probably gonna be busy for next couple days, if not a week or two. Got a handful of things going on, so I figured, you know what, I might as well do a stream now, especially because there's also been a bunch of stuff that I've been meaning to talk about that I haven't gotten to yet. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. We are back in Hong Kong Island because these streams seem to be doing really well, which is, I don't really understand why, because, Solar Crown did not get very good reviews and stuff, but, people seem to enjoy listening to me talk while I drive around here. So, also, I don't know why my chat rate just went up when I don't see any actual messages in chat. It's odd. Anyway, oh wait, there we go. I didn't even know there was a different button there. Yes, where was I? So, yeah, people seem to like to watch me play this game and drive around and talk about stuff. Ford anniversary. Happy birthday, Ford. To celebrate the creation of Ford, we're showcasing the American brand's cars. Race with your favorite Ford and beat all your opponents. And you can win a Ford bomber jacket. Okay. I don't know if there's been any major updates to Solar Crown since I last played. Maybe. I know that there's supposed to be an update coming where they're like re-adding the casino like Solar Crown, or not Solar Crown, like TDU 2 had, but I don't know when that's coming out. I don't think it's out yet, so okay. Also, just forgot to check the audio. Sorry if you guys hear jingling in the background. My cat has decided that of all the times of day for her to play with her toys, the one time when I would like it to be quiet, she is going to play with her toys. Every time I stream or record a video, I don't know what it is, but my cat gets all amped up whenever I'm like the one time of day that I'm not paying direct attention to her is the time that she decides, you know what, now is when I need attention. Yeah, speaking of my cat, so I wanted to give some updates on stuff that I had talked about in the last stream, because I had mentioned doctor's appointments for both my cat and I. So, oh, a pin in Farina. Yeah, so firstly, my cat, after I did that live stream, I went and I made an appointment for her because I had mentioned she was vomiting, so I wanted to get it checked out, and also I'm pretty sure that her like annual vet visit was coming up anyway, so I made an appointment, and I was kind of surprised I was actually able to get an appointment on like the same day that I thought she opened the door now too. I was able to get an appointment on the same day that I called, which was nice. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily happen. It can take a really long time to get appointments for stuff where I live sometimes because there's been so many people that have moved here, that everywhere is busy all of the time. But yeah, I was able to get her in the same day, so I took her, and took her to the vet, and I originally I was mostly focused on like the she's been throwing up kind of thing, but like I suspected, it was about time for her to have her annual vet visit anyway.
Did you know that
So
Cantopop is still the most
God, that
popular
toy is
music
loud.
in Hong Kong?
So
This is the birthplace of the genre. But now we've got
I'm
some
trying to
new
remember
music
what button
for
it
you
was
and
for
your
the
adventures
radio
on
to
the
turn that off. Although I think most of the music in this game doesn't get copyright strikes. Anyway, so took her to the vet and told her, that she's been vomiting, and they were like, okay, we'll investigate that, and then also her annual visit, it's about time for that, so do you want to do that right now too? And I was like, heck yeah. get it all out of the way. So they it was kind of it was a little bit annoying, but sort of worked out in my favor in the end. I got there and I like met with like the vet assistant or whatever, like whatever the nurse equivalent of a vet is, and she took Luna is my cat's name. She took Luna's weight, did like all the basic, you know, check-in stuff, and trimmed her nails because I wanted her nails to be trimmed, and she gets very cranky with her nails being trimmed, so I figured I would see if they could do it while we were there already because they probably had more experience with that, so they did that, and they were like, okay, you know, now we'll have the vet in here in a minute to check on her. And then so I'm sitting in this room and like 20 minutes go like 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by. I think it was like 25 minutes before anybody came in. And so like the vet, oh my god, I need to stop crashing into things. Um the like vet tech comes back in and she's like, yeah, so we actually had two emergencies pop in like right after you showed up, and I guess that there was a dog that came in that needed emergency surgery because it had been attacked by another dog, and then there was also like another dog that was getting spayed that had some sort of thing wrong that they only noticed during the spay. So it ended up being yeah, so I had to wait a little while, but I mean I didn't really care that much. Like it was, you know, if it was an emergency thing, you know, whatever. Focus on those dogs first. My cats can be fine for a little while. So finally the vet comes in, and long story short, so they took Luna's blood work, did all that stuff, um, and the vet didn't really seem too concerned. Pretty much said that I should try. Well, I had already said that I was going to try switching her food because I'd been giving her a different food, and actually a salmon based food, whereas before I had been giving her mostly either chicken or chicken and salmon. And so I was already planning on swapping that back over to just a chicken one. And the vet sort of said, like, yeah, you should do that. And then also, if that doesn't work, we can, like, prescribe her this, like, specialty diet food stuff. Um, and what else? They also said something about she might need to have two teeth removed because I guess cats, when they get older, can have this thing where like their gums can grow back up over some of their teeth, and from what I understood, it almost creates like a wisdom tooth type situation where like the tooth is kind of buried in their gum and can be uncomfortable. But she said that wasn't like of major concern or anything at the moment. So that was the actual vet visit, but then, and so, okay, so for one, it's expensive, almost cost me $400, and would have cost me over $400, except, they actually gave me a discount because, I had waited so long on them when they were dealing with those two emergencies, so they did, like, they made her, her nail clipping complimentary and stuff, so that was good, because it actually knocked a good chunk of, what it would have been off of there anyway. I mean, the thing is, the vet that I take her to is kind of expensive. This is an area my mom and I disagree on a little bit, because she used to take her dog to the same vet, but then changed because she didn't really like the vet. And I think I took my cat to the vet she takes her dog to one time, but I don't really like the vet that she takes her dog to, so we're kind of in disagreement over vets. But my mom's main issue with this vet was just that they're kind of expensive, and I mean they are, but also they're pretty good. Like I've had only good experiences with them. So yeah, but that is not where the story ends though with the vet visit. So a couple days go by, and my mom gets a phone call from the vet's office. I don't really know why they called her instead of me, but I guess they just have her phone number on file. Um, and so they call her, and they're like, okay, you know, Luna's blood tests are in and everything, so give us a call. And I was like, because it sounded a little more ominous than I just made it sound, but I was kind of like, what? Because so for one, of course, I only get this message relayed to me like as I'm at work and after this vet's office is closed. I think they called my mom like right before they closed, and then of course took her a little bit to see the message and then send it to me. But that made me kind of nervous because it hadn't been that long, and it's not always true, but sometimes, you know, if like a doctor calls you back too quick, it can be kind of concerning. So next morning, as soon as they opened, I gave them a call, and luckily they pretty much said that she was fine. They said like something. Hang on. Speaking of Luna, she has opened the door, and I need to now go close it. Naturally, I'm gonna go get a drink of water too. I will be right back. Let me pop up the BRB screen. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me pause that. Jump back over here. So, what I was saying though, so yeah, she ended up being fine. And that was the vet visit. So not really that stressful, and I'm kind of glad that I. Oh. Whew, still 0 damage. Okay, good. Although now I need to get back into the left lane. So yeah, that was a good outcome on that. And even though it was kind of expensive and a little bit stressful, like how they called me back really fast, at least that's done with for another year or so. Yeah, I'm very thankful that my cat is a pretty low maintenance cat. Um, like she's generally actually been pretty good. I remember like when I was like a baby, my parents had another cat that my mom and dad both told me about a number of times that was like really misbehaved. That used to like pee and poop on stuff and things like that. And I've heard other horror stories too about things like that with like cats that'll like spray on everything. But honestly, like my cat, she has only ever gone to the bathroom outside of her litter box like 3 times. Um, there was, I think I mentioned it probably at some point on the stream or on well, I guess it would have been Twitter then, although I'm on Blue Sky now. She had like pooped on my bed twice, but I think that was like a behavioral thing. I think she wanted her litter box to be cleaned, and like fully cleaned. I mean, I clean it every day, but I think she wanted like a whole new set of litter and everything because I did that, and then she was fine. And one time she peed on like a bag of clothes that I have. I don't really know what the deal was with that, but that was like a long time ago. Um, but yeah, she's been a really good cat so far. Yeah, she just kind of hangs out, but hey, that's all I need in a cat. So there was that whole thing, and then also I had made doctor's appointment for myself. So I mentioned on last stream that my main doctor, for some reason, when I went to ask about like to get my stomach stuff checked out because I was having some stomach discomfort and stuff, my doctor wanted me to see a sleep specialist because, well, frankly, I don't really understand why. And the more that time has gone on, I still don't really understand why. My doctor wanted me to get a sleep apnea, or well, just a sleep study, not necessarily like a specific sleep apnea test, because sleep studies can tell you more than just that. Um, but yeah, so she sent me a referral to this actually like really pretty well regarded doctor in the area. I met with him and I didn't realize until meeting with him that he actually wrote like a really like best selling book and some has some other like really impressive accolades. Um, thank goodness I have pretty good insurance because that's probably gonna be expensive. But yeah. So anyway, I finally made an appointment for that. I didn't even realize that the referral had been made for like 3 weeks because I never got notified about it. But I finally realized it, made an appointment there. Was also able to get an appointment in surprisingly quick there. And it was funny though, because sort of the same thing happened when I got to the actual doctor. One of the forms they had me fill out was this form about like my sleep habits, and pretty much it was almost like a sleep apnea screening form, and it asked like how likely I was to fall asleep during certain activities. So it was saying like, how likely are you to fall asleep when you're at work? How likely are you to fall asleep when you're driving, or when you're a passenger in a car, when you're watching TV, when you're eating, when you're reading a book, things like that. And it was like, well, most of these probably not very likely. I mean, like reading a book, maybe, watching TV, maybe, that kind of thing. But I'm not really like, I'm not out here falling asleep when I'm driving or anything. I mean, like I'm not that tired all the time. Like right now, I'm not even that tired, even though it's pretty late in the day. Um, well, or early in the day, I guess, depending on your perspective. But yeah, so I kind of filled this form out, and also like I've been looking at sleep apnea stuff myself a little bit, and like I don't know, like I don't even really know if I'd call them symptoms, but like my tiredness that I was experiencing didn't really line up with anything that I was reading about it. So when I actually talked to the sleep doctor about it, he actually asked me. He was like, "So why exactly are you here?" And I was like, "I don't really know either, but apparently my doctor wants me to get a sleep study." But he was friendly and everything, so I did like an at-home sleep study thing, and I still have yet to get the results of it. But it's pretty much like this like it it looks scarier than it is, and like it's kind of funny. It's I think it was called a sleep pat, and it's by Itamar Medical. They have a very kind of funny video about how to use it on YouTube that if you guys are interested, you should check out. If you just look for the Itamar Medical like YouTube channel, and then it's in sort by most popular and watch the one. It's got like 700,000 views. It's about 4 minutes long. The dude doing the tutorial is very animated and it's kind of funny. So, but yeah, and like it was weird though. A bunch of the comments were like, "Oh man, this thing's so hard to use." I didn't think it was that hard to use. Pretty much, it's like a thick like watch that you put on your wrist, and then there's a sensor you stick to your chest, and there's like a finger thing you stick your finger into, and that was pretty much the main complaint I saw people making. Was they were like, "Oh, this finger thing is gonna make your hand fall asleep." It's like, well, bro, my whole body's asleep. What do you want from me? But no, so I did that, and unfortunately, I actually didn't get great sleep that night because my mother's dog decided to bark at multiple things throughout the night. But I think it was like enough data in general for kind of what was needed. Um, so then I had to return that, and then now I've got another appointment for, I guess, the actual results of that and see what happens. Um, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I mean, there's a like non-zero chance that I could have sleep apnea, which would kind of suck because then I might have to use a CPAP machine, and well, those are pretty big pain. I mentioned in the last stream when I was talking about sleep apnea stuff that my dad had sleep apnea, so I've kind of seen the process of it. Um, and yeah, CPAP machines can be tough to use, and they can be like challenging to use consistently because they're kind of big and stuff sometimes. But that being said, the whole sleep apnea hereditary thing, I don't really think it's like actually hereditary in my family because um the sleep apnea my dad had, I'm almost certain was caused by weight rather than like, because sometimes sleep apnea can be caused by like an actual like neurological thing, but it can also have a bunch of other causes. And for my dad, I'm pretty sure it was weight because he did eventually lose weight and did, if I remember right, stop using the CPAP machine. Um, so that's yeah, that's that's where we are with that. So we'll see the results of it, but that's part of the reason why I haven't really made that much this week, and it might still be a while before I make anything because I mean, it's not like I've had to do that much for that, but it's just like I've had to drive quite a distance to get to that doctor's office and back, and I've had to do it multiple times, and still I'm probably gonna have to do it at least one more time. Um, Assuming, hopefully, that the sleep apnea test comes back saying that I do not have sleep apnea, then I have a feeling that the doctor is just going to recommend me that I work on my sleep schedule, because that was actually something I did separately over the week or so between me scheduling the appointment with that doctor and actually going to the appointment with that doctor. I made an effort to fix my sleep schedule because I had said before on the stream how like I would sleep for like 6 hours at night and then take like a 3 hour nap later in the day. So it looked like I was sleeping all the time when in reality I was getting like a normal amount of sleep. Um, and I specifically tried to get out of that habit over the week or so between, like I said, between scheduling and actually going to that appointment. And it worked like really well. Um, I specifically stayed up like a whole day from really early to pretty late, and got normal amount of sleep. And throughout pretty much the rest of the week, I was pretty much fine, except for I got to like Sunday, and I was really tired, and I ended up taking a nap, and that just kind of screwed me up a little bit. But that being said, I think that if it's not sleep apnea, then I just need to work on sleep schedule and weight. Um, Man, I a lot during these streams, don't I? But yeah, trying to think. I feel like I had more to say about this, but I feel like I might be running out of things to say. So we'll see. The other thing too is, and I mentioned this a little bit on the last stream, and I know I know there's an aspect of this that is just me trying to convince myself that I don't have sleep apnea. But I've also, like, not only my girlfriend, but in talking to some of my family members, they also have told me that even though I snore sometimes, that it's not like obtrusive, and that also, with sleep apnea, you're like waking up when you're asleep, or at least like you're not really getting good sleep because you're like stopping breathing. And I mentioned it to some of my family members, and they were like, no, like when you're asleep, you are asleep, Quentin. Like they pretty much told me that it's hard to wake me up sometimes because I'm so asleep. So that's maybe a good thing. um, we'll see. Yeah, so that's what's going on with that though. Finally got the test for sleep apnea, hoping that I don't have it. Yeah. Speaking of weight, though, another positive development in the realm of my health is I've actually lost some weight. I believe I weighed myself the other day on a scale that I used at home before. Last time I used it a couple weeks ago, it said that I was. Well, I mean, okay. I don't know if you guys need to know my exact weight. I feel like that's a little bit personal. But long story short, it said I was one weight, and then when I weighed myself again this next time, it said that I lost 5 pounds. And I'm pretty sure that I was actually wearing more clothes this time. Like I was wearing a sweatshirt and stuff. And I don't think I was wearing that last time, so it's probably even more than that. But even still, 5 pounds is pretty good for not really actually exercising that much. Um, but I think it sort of hopefully has proven my theory correct a little bit about what I was thinking with how like my eating and exercise habits previously already, even without really trying to do anything, like I was at a relatively stable weight. I wasn't really gaining or losing weight. So in theory, just doing more stuff and eating healthier a little bit. Oh, hang on, gotta close the door again. Cat's back. Give me 1 second. So yeah, what I was saying, pretty much I think my theory has been proven, which is good. So I just need to keep on that, keep eating a bit healthier, and trying to just do more stuff. I think I might not do that much for a couple days here now though, because I think I hurt my back yesterday a little bit. My back's been hurting today. I had to carry a very heavy thing for a family member yesterday, and it doesn't hurt that much, but it hurts enough for me to not really want to go do like that much movement, especially because I also worked today, and there's a lot of movement at my job usually, so the back is stressed. um, but yeah, that's how I'm feeling in those regards. But I'm very happy if the scale was accurate and everything. If I actually did lose like 5 pounds, that's not bad. That's pretty good for not doing that much. And that should hopefully take me away from the BMI borderline obese thing. So that really freaked me out when I saw that it said that I was borderline obese on that BMI calculator. Um, Still overweight. I need to lose like probably like 20 pounds or 30 pounds or something to get to like the like perfect BMI for my height. Um, which I mean that's a good bit of weight, but that's not crazy. That's not any needing to lose like 150 pounds or anything. So um, that's not too bad. And I mean even if like even being overweight is better than being obese. So um, yeah, but I would like to try to do some more. I think exercise type stuff. I really like basketball, so sometimes it's nice to go to the park and like play basketball. Or I really want to go back to the one arcade that I found locally that has a bunch of the like good Japanese rhythm games because like it's not a ton of movement, but it's some arm movement, and they have like three different versions of Dance Dance Revolution. So I think playing that some more could also be helpful because it's like it's one of those things where okay, Dance Dance Revolution is not necessarily going to burn a ton of calories, but in my scenario, like I don't think I need to like doing something is better than doing nothing, and Dance Dance Revolution is going to be more than I do normally. So and it's fun. It's a video game. Why not? Plus, I think also some of the Dave and Buster's in my area, um, not all Dave and Buster's have Dance Dance Revolution anymore because I believe that they like replaced them with Step Mania. But some of the Dave and Buster's in my area do actually still have DDR machines, and I saw that one of them, the DDR machine, was actually still hooked up to the internet and still online. So I'm gonna bring my amusement pass with me next time, and I could start saving my progress on there, which would be really cool. Trying to think if there's any other real life updates though, but not really health wise. I think I've kind of covered all of that type of stuff. Um, Not gonna lie, I am a bit anxious about finding out about the sleep apnea stuff. Um, just because like it it's kind of nerve wracking. I mean, sleep apnea. There are definitely far worse things that you could be diagnosed with than sleep apnea, but it's also something that could be a big pain. Um, but even if I am diagnosed with sleep apnea, I think it's more than likely a weight thing. So if I just continue to try to lose weight, then that would be helpful. Actually, now that I think about it, that doctor's office has a online patient portal thing too that I should probably check. Although I don't really think that my result. I think I would have been notified if my results were popped up on there or not. Although I'm not entirely sure. You know what? I can probably actually check that right now. It's gonna be a weird thing to do in the middle of the stream. I'm gonna keep playing, but I'm also gonna try to check this really quick. Um, I'm gonna pop up the BRB screen while I check this, just because it's on my mind. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the. I know it's kind of an awkward interruption. like, most streamers is like if they take a break, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go hit the bathroom or I'm gonna go grab a drink of water or anything. Nope, not for Wolf. Let me go check and see if my sleep apnea test results are in. But by the way, no, they are not. I kind of have a feeling I won't really hear anything until I have my follow-up appointment. Just because that doctor's office is also one of those kind of slightly strange offices where they're only open like a couple days a week. So I don't really. I think yeah. I don't know how speedy they are with those results. But and also I mean even though they have like the online patient portal, it doesn't necessarily mean they use it. I guess I'll find out. But the other thing too that I meant to say with the sleep apnea thing too, my dentist hasn't said anything to me about it, which is that might sound kind of strange, but I've heard when I was looking it up online and stuff, I saw many stories where people were saying that their dentists were actually the ones who saw like signs of sleep apnea and stuff because I think they can like tell if you snore like by the way part of your mouth looks or something. Um, and my dentist never said anything about that. And my dentist is actually like I've said before that I'm not like hesitant towards doctors, but I have to get like a vibe for doctors, kind of. Um, and my dentist is super chill and very smart. So yeah. Anyway, aside from real life stuff, though, something else I want to talk about. I want to talk about Mind's Eye a little bit. So Mind's Eye came out on this past Tuesday, and I made a 15 first impressions of it. And I actually compared it a little bit to Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Um, Solar Crown, this is gonna sound weird. Might be people might disagree with me, but I'm not really sure. Um, Solar Crown is definitely a better game. With that being said, I have been really enjoying playing Mind's Eye. It's it's a strange little game. I know that there's been a lot of people who kind of agree with that sentiment. And there's been a lot of negative reviews and stuff. But I've I've been enjoying it. It is such a weird game. It's so oddly put together. Um, yeah, I'm not super far into it yet. I still don't think. But yeah, I I th- I think what I said in my 15 first impressions though, where I predicted where the plot was gonna go, may be true. um, I I played a really good chunk of it the other night, like 2 hours or so of it. Yeah. Oh, we have a chat message. It says hi. Oh my god, where did three viewers come from? That's more than ever. No. Um, yeah. Oh, by the way, hello chat. Hello back to you. But yeah, I wanna keep playing it. Mine's like what I was saying too about the way that game is really weirdly set up. So I looked up a YouTube video of when you get to free roam because I know that the game Mind's Eye is actually a lot more linear than it looks, which I don't think is a huge surprise because they kind of said that. But there is a free roam mode, but it's considered like a separate mission, and I couldn't figure out like when you unlocked it just based on the stuff I saw in the game. So I looked it up online and I saw there was a YouTube video about it, and the dude in the YouTube video showed he was like, you unlock free roam about 6 hours into the campaign, and I'm like, okay, that's sort of strange, but okay, whatever. Um, so that's odd. And then he also showed the free roam mode, and for some reason, the free roam mode has you playing as a different character, and like, I don't know. I guess that sort of makes sense because a bunch of the like side content missions in Mind's Eye do have you playing as like different characters, but they have you playing as this. Uh, I don't want to be mean, but this very strange looking character with like a gas mask and stuff. You don't seem to be able to customize that character, so it's a really yeah, it's a strange decision. There were comments on that YouTube video. I wish I could remember who made it because I would have told you guys. But um, there were like comments on that YouTube video where like who is this like I'm gonna copy a Vine sauce word here, but who is this gormless fellow? who is this Gormless fellow who, you know, has this gas mask? Like, like, how hard are the Mind's Eye developers trying to get this game made fun of? And there were a number of comments like that. Yeah. It's me? Is that like a Five Nights at Freddy's reference? Like, how, you know, Golden Freddy, it's me? That kind of thing? Yeah. Okay, so let me spill the beans for anybody watching the archived version of this in the future, because I know it archives the chat also. That is my girlfriend in the chat right now. My lovely, beautiful girlfriend, who is watching the stream right now. So, in case you're curious. She's actually been on one of my streams before too. We played Call of Duty 4 together one time, although we still have to work on how to get voice chat to work to where you would be able to hear both of us during the stream. Yeah, we've talked about that before. We haven't done it yet though. Partially because I haven't really done that many streams lately. But it's me, your girlfriend. I just said that. Oh my god, calm down. Yeah. The thing is, I kind of want to say more about Mind's Eye, but also at the same time, I really don't want to spoil it. Like, there's been some interesting stuff in the plot that I've seen, but I also don't want to spoil anything, because it's such a strange game, and I feel like eventually, or even right now, I have a feeling that there's a lot of people that are curious about Mind's Eye just because of all the negative press. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are going to buy it in the future just to see what it's about, or they're going to, like, watch playthroughs of it and stuff. Which, heck, I might even do a playthrough of it myself in the future, because it's actually, even though it looks open world and everything, the linearity of it actually makes it really easy, I think, to replay missions and stuff. So, I may do a playthrough of it in the future, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a strange game, but it's kind of nice to see a strange game like that. What else? There's more to be said about Mind's Eye. Well, okay, people keep talking about that CPR minigame. I don't know why you guys are having trouble with the CPR minigame. That was not that hard. I failed it one time and then got it on the second try. That CPR minigame was not that challenging. The thing is, I feel like... So, I've seen footage of people playing Mind's Eye, and I've seen people playing similar footage of, like, other, you know, sort of, like, 5 or 6 out of 10 type games and stuff before, where people are like, oh man, these games are so broken, and these games suck, like everything's broken, all the physics are weird, and everything glitches out, and then like you watch them play, and they play like psychopaths. Like sometimes, like some of the footage that I've seen people playing Mind's Eye and other games, and they're like, man, why are all these characters getting spaghettified when they get hit by this vehicle, and then they like ram this vehicle into a crowd of characters for no reason. It's like, well, maybe the game wasn't expecting you to do that. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, of course, when you play a video game, you should be able to kind of do whatever you want with it. You should be able to have fun with it. But also, like, if you break the boundaries of what a game is expecting, I think you can't always expect it to, like, respond to that. But yeah. Oh my god, the one time my girlfriend catches my stream live, and now she doesn't even say anything in the chat. Oh, also, another thing I wanted to talk about on stream. So, my videos that are like tutorials of things have been doing pretty well. It started out Waddle Forever tutorials, but then I also did that open source free roams tutorial, and people have been, it's not been as heavily watched, but people have been watching that too. Um, and I didn't really plan on becoming like a tutorial channel, but I I do think that people seem to like the Waddle Forever videos. Like I get a lot of views on those. I usually get quite a few likes. I get a lot of people who are in the comments saying like, um, oh dang it! See, and now my girlfriend is distracting me, and made me hit a cone. Oh my goodness! I don't know how I will ever drive with her in the car. um, but yeah, so people have been enjoying those, and people have been leaving like nice comments on those, or they have like suggestions for other things for me to do tutorials on. And then I also saw there was a pretty long comment. I haven't read the whole thing yet though. But there was a pretty long comment on the open source free realms video that I made. And I already have plans at some point to try to make some tutorials about CPPS Creator. Um, so that's even more stuff. So that's like 3 separate games right there that I want to do videos about. And to be honest, like I have a lot of ideas for all of those. Not so much for Realms, but for Waddle Forever and CPPS Creator. There's a lot of there's a lot of videos that could be yet still made. Um, like Waddle Forever, I know that somebody asked about loading screens. I did figure out how to do that, and I want to make a video about that. But but I just haven't gotten to it yet. It's kind of a complicated process. It's not that hard, but it took me a while to figure out. There's a lot of steps in it. So there's that. But then, so alongside those 3 games, I also have another idea that I haven't mentioned yet because I just sort of recently found out about it, and I'm not sure. This is something that's probably still like a ways off if I even decide to do it or not. But I've mentioned before that I really enjoyed the game Chunithm at some arcades that I've been to lately, which is like it's one of those Japanese rhythm games. It is almost like playing a piano, but not exactly. You can look up videos of it online and stuff and see what I mean. But I've been surprised with how much I enjoy it. Um, and so, in doing some research about it, there is actually a fan made home version of Chunithm that is very similar to the arcade version. You may be better at me. Oh my god, I can't even read. You may be better than me at racing games, but I'm gonna beat you at air hockey and basketball. I can't believe you would swear at me like that. Yeah, I'm speaking of. So, also, I mentioned this before. I'm going to be visiting my lovely girlfriend, who is here in the chat, pretty soon, and we have plans to go to an arcade together too, where I am going to be demolishing her at every single game in the arcade, despite her, delusions otherwise. So, anyway, though, with Chunithm, so there's, did I say Umigiri is the name of this, like, fan-made version of Chunithm, and, you can play it in English. However, a lot of documentation for it is in Japanese. I don't know Japanese, um, but, I, I love you too, my beautiful girlfriend. Although you're wrong, I am going to whoop you at every single arcade game that we play. Um, so yeah, with Umigiri though, so a lot of it's mixed. Like some of it's in English, some of it's in Japanese in terms of like documentation and stuff. But the stuff to make custom charts for different songs is pretty much entirely in Japanese, including like the software for it. And so I would kind of like to try to figure it out and then maybe make some videos about that because I mean I really haven't seen that much English language stuff about Umigiri in general, even though I think that there are people in like the English realm of the world that play it, and especially with making charts though because the whole program is in Japanese, and I have no idea what any of it says. Luckily, with like the internet and stuff, though, it's not always that hard to figure out. But yeah, cause like I tried messing around with making a chart in it, but I couldn't figure out like there must be a way I think to like line up the music with it in the actual chart making program, but I couldn't figure it out, because it feels like it'd be pretty hard to make a chart without actually having the music there also. So we'll see about that. Oh my god, I have the hiccups. So that's what that $5 McDonald's meal does to you. My girlfriend has just said in chat that she knows a little bit of Japanese, which I think I knew. I think you've told me that before. Yeah, my girlfriend is very talented, very smart, by the way. Like, you guys have not, like, actually met her, really, because she hasn't, like, been on any streams or anything yet. But, this woman is incredibly talented. She is good at art, she is good at writing, she knows multiple languages. Yeah, so if you're wondering who is the brains of the relationship, it is not me. Or the brawn. She's also very strong. She's kind of everything in the relationship. I'm just along for the ride. And enjoying every second of it. But, so yeah, there's all that stuff. So anyway, my point is, people like my tutorial videos, and so I might kind of lean into that a little bit more. I mean, I don't, like, I've always kind of felt like tutorials are a good strategy for YouTube, because tutorials allow you to, they do a lot. They can be entertaining, because even if somebody isn't trying to do something, it can be interesting to watch a tutorial on how to do something. But it also can be educational in that you're helping other people figure out how to do things. Yeah, so there's a lot of, like, viewership from tutorials on YouTube for things, and so I've always thought about, like, it could be useful to make tutorial videos, but I never really had anything to make tutorials on. But now I've got, like, multiple subjects to investigate and try to make tutorials on, because they're there, but they're not necessarily, like, that well documented. Now, Waddle Forever is pretty well documented. I mean, all the stuff is there. But if you don't have, like, a ton of experience with, like, modding Swift files and stuff, it can be kind of hard to go just off of text. So I think the videos are helpful for that. So, yeah, I'd like to make more of those. I also really want to do a playthrough soon, but I just haven't yet. The next one that I have listed in my, like, list of stuff to do is Fast and Furious Showdown, which is not a good game, but I think would be fun. Not really. No, okay. Girl, listen, you are so smart. But yeah, I've got I want to do that. I also do have a handful of other videos that I want to make, but the thing is, like, the tutorials are so relatively quick to make, and they do so well lately. Oh my god. Whew. Yeah, that I should probably focus on tutorials was where that sentence was going. I like some of the other ideas that I've had, though. I've wanted to review some games and then just never actually gotten around to it, because reviews are always, like, complicated. I've had an idea for a while with, what was it? I've had a couple ideas for a while. There was an idea, well, I've had an idea for a while about, like, speaking of racing games, about doing a video about the tonal shift over the 3 so far Crew games. Because the Crew 1 is so, like, way darker than the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest. It's really kind of funny how much they've managed to shift the entire like, trajectory of that series. I have a video idea that I've probably, like many things, I've probably also mentioned before. I want to do a video about games that came out on previous consoles after having a game that came out on a console before. So, like, think of, like, MotorStorm Arctic Edge is like one of the better examples, because MotorStorm Pacific Rift came out on PS3, then Arctic Edge came out on PS2, and only PS2 and PSP, not on PS3. And then they went back to PS3 with Apocalypse. And there's a couple games like that that I can think of that I want to make a video about, because it's just an interesting concept. I've got more stuff written down too. I just don't remember any of it off the top of my head, which is why I haven't written down. Make one on drifting. I don't know how to drift properly. So, my lovely girlfriend here in chat tonight, she has been asking me to make a video about drifting in racing games for a while. We both are fans of the 2010 Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. However, I am far better at it than her. And she gets very frustrated that she cannot be my leaderboard times. No, I'm just bullying her. No, she's asked me a few times to make a video about like how to be good at racing games, which is a good idea because I am pretty good at racing games, and I think probably would be a good idea to make, because I think I don't want to over complexify racing games. But I feel like there are some strategies that you can apply across racing games to be better at them. So like one thing in particular, it doesn't necessarily have to do with drifting, because drifting actually differs like a lot from game to game. Like how I would drift in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is entirely different to how I would drift in Solar Crown here. Like some concepts are kind of the same. So like in a racing game, the general idea of a race is to, you know, get from point A to point B as fast as possible. And I think that that's something that's important to keep in mind sometimes when you're playing racing games. Sometimes it can almost be distracting if you're focusing on other racers too much, because like the goal is just to get to the end of the race fast. And sometimes if you focus more specifically on like the road rather than on the other racers, and the idea of like maintaining a top speed for as long as possible, because you're just trying to cover as much ground as possible in as short of amount of time as possible, I don't know, just having that kind of mindset when you play can be really helpful in racing games, but also even in real life when driving. Now of course, don't go speeding or anything like that, but I've noticed before, like sometimes if I want to get somewhere fast, like if I'm frustrated like with how long it's going to take me to get somewhere, I actually have applied some of those concepts to reality before and it works. So like, for example, one of the arcades that I've been to a handful of times is actually kind of far away from me. It's closer to like 2 hours, and it takes a pretty long time to get out there. But the one day I was like, dude, I am getting out to this other arcade as fast as I possibly can. And I'm not going to break the speed limit or anything, but I'm going to get out there fast. And so what I ended up doing was like, I kind of applied the same strategy as I would have in a racing game. I stayed at the top speed as much as I could, so I stayed right on the speed limit, and I really focused on cornering. I like stayed as close to the inside of turns as humanly possible, without putting myself in like obvious danger, or you know, like like ending up in the opposite lane or anything like that. I'll beat you at arcade racing games though. No, you will not. And go over the speed limit IRL. No, do not go over the speed limit IRL. Don't. Wear a seatbelt, go the speed limit, use your blink. For the love of God, use your blinkers. Holy crap. People in the area I live do not use their friggin' blinkers, and it's so annoying. The number of times that I've been like honked at trying to make a turn because I couldn't tell. You know, I don't like to swear, but just like the number of times I've been honked at because I couldn't tell what direction the dumbass across the street was about to go because they didn't use their blinker. Jesus Christ. I do not know if you're turning left or right, sir, if you do not use your goddamn blinker. Okay, anyway, that's enough of Angry Wolf. But yeah. I try to save my swearing for special occasions. What time is it? Have I been streaming? Oh my god, I've been streaming for almost an hour. Oh wow. It is 1:30 a.m. for me. I think after I finish this car delivery, I'm gonna go ahead and and I'm gonna go ahead and after this car delivery end the stream because I need to go to bed. I'm very tired. I'm sorry, but I hate people who don't use their blinkers. Yeah, I don't understand it. More angry, Wolf. Trust me. Like, if any of you guys actually want to see me angry, just wait till I eventually get the whole doxing situation fixed. I am gonna make probably the angriest video I have ever made. When I finally get that all fixed and can like explain it on the channel. My lovely girlfriend here knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, once I actually am able to like explain what happened with that, that video is gonna be a ride. You guys are gonna hear more swear words out of my mouth than you ever have before. But that's for for the future. Yeah, no, I don't know. Okay. I've talked about the area that I live in a handful of times on the stream. I really enjoyed it when I first moved here, but then the pandemic happened, and it feels like the entire Earth decided to also move here. And I swear to, oh, hang on, I have a sneeze coming on. Oh my god, give me a second. Whew, that was one of those deep sneezes that came like from my lungs. Whew, oh my god. Probably, dusty from work. I need to use some nasal spray. Yeah, I swear to God that we have gotten, like, I've said it before, just people have lost their minds in the area I live in, and I don't really know why, but I just have had to interact with so many strange people over the past few years. Every time I go to any sort of retail establishment, I encounter just utter psychopaths. Yeah, so, yeah. There is a possibility of me moving away from here, though. There's multiple routes that could happen through, but, yeah, as much as I really enjoyed living here when I first moved here, between the psychotic population that has moved here, the housing prices going, like, quadruple what they used to be, the minimum income needing to be, like over $100,000 just to, like, reasonably live here. It's insane. And it's one of those things where it's like I literally kind of don't have an option except for to move away if I want to, like, grow in life, I feel. So we'll see, though. Who knows? Things could change. I could find a really, really good job here or something, or get like a great promotion at my current job or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Something I have been considering, when I was at work today, I actually got kind of bored, and I was, this is gonna sound silly, but I was looking at entrepreneurial visas for different places, and you know, it's one of those things where sometimes, like, when you look at visas for different countries, they can seem really hard to obtain, like normal skilled worker visas or partner visas and stuff, but sometimes if you look at, like, other forms of visas, like visas relating to, like, artistic things or like talent things or entrepreneurial things or investory things, sometimes the requirements for visas like that are actually not as absurd as they may initially seem. So I was looking at some of those because I still don't know, like, for sure if I want to stay in the US forever. And so I was just looking at it and I was like, you know what? Some of these places actually, like, this may be a thing that I could do. Parking garage. So you just deliver fancy cars to random people in this game? That's mostly what I do when I stream it. It's a racing game, so you can do actual, like, races and stuff. There's a handful of things. It's mostly the general idea of Test Drive Unlimited is like racing and car stuff. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess the main thing is racing, but I just usually do the car deliveries when I stream, just because it's like it's easier for me to talk over, and it gives me the opportunity to drive different cars in the game. Cars, oh my god, where did that accent come from? Jesus. Um, yeah. Supposedly they've got a big update coming though that's gonna add like a casino and stuff, which will be cool. At some point too, I want to play Test Drive Unlimited 2. I was thinking about doing that soon because oh, another thing that I want to mention before I end the stream. I got my hands on a PlayStation 3D display recently. One sort of came across my desk at work, so to say, and I bought it. And so I'm a little bit hesitant with it because I've heard that they actually can have issues. It's one of those things where I've heard differing things. I've heard some people say that they've had one forever and that it works wonderfully. I've had other people say that they've run into issues with it and stuff. Anyway, the one that I have seems to be working fine. The only thing that's missing is I don't actually have the 3D glasses for it, but luckily the 3D glasses are actually pretty easy to obtain. You can buy them right on eBay. They're a little expensive. They're like 30 or 40 bucks for like a pair of 3D glasses, but whatever. I got such a good deal on the TV anyway that it's not really like a huge price to pay for completing it. But anyway, the other day I played some PS3 on there, and dude, I talked about it on Blue Sky a little bit, but it's one of those things where sometimes like you have a device and then you pair it with another device and you can just tell that they were sort of built in unison. The PS3 looks so immaculate on that PlayStation 3D display. I played Call of Duty 4 and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on there for a little bit, and it was kind of weird playing it on a small screen, because it's not like a very big screen. I think it's like 24 inches, but beautiful. So I'd kind of like to do a stream sometime where I use that as my display. Of course, you guys wouldn't really be able to tell the difference because it'd be going through the capture card anyway, but it would be fun for my end of things. Anyway, though, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you all to everybody who is going to watch the archived version of this in the future. Hope you all have a good day or night or whatever time it is, wherever you are. My beautiful girlfriend, I love you very much. And yeah, I'll see you in other stuff in the future, and bye-bye.